29th January 2015, late in the evening, I was in Guwahati and I received a call from Mr. Mudit's father informing me about his condition. And I spoke to the doctors in the hospital and learned that Mr. Mudit was in a very critical condition and he had an injury which needed repair, which was only possible in Delhi. So the need was to shift him to Delhi immediately. But important thing was that the shifting process should be safe. So I spoke to the doctors who were treating him in Dehradun and we discussed and we all gave all the necessary instructions so that he can be shifted to Delhi safely, and thereafter he was airlifted from Dehradun to Delhi and he reached around midnight to our hospital. We immediately admitted him to the ICU and decided to do a bronchoscopy to know the condition of his injury, and bronchoscopy revealed that there was a total cutting or transection of his windpipe. One end had come up, the other end had gone down. It was a very precarious condition and we couldn't have waited, because if this ruptures, it would be disastrous. So immediately we decided to shift him to the OT for surgery. Mr. Mudit's surgery was one of the most challenging surgeries because there are a lot of issues involved. The first issue was that we have to get a tube into his distal windpipe because that end had got moved quite distally because of the injury. The next challenge was that the two ends had moved about 3 centimeters apart. So we had to get them together to be able to stitch them. After a lot of painstaking efforts, we were able to get the two ends together, and finally we completed the stitching of his windpipe. This was quite a difficult and challenging task, especially considering the multiple injuries to the face, to bones and to the ribs. A lot of bony fractures and other things were there. All those issues were also fixed after we had taken care of his windpipe injury, and then after an operation which lasted almost 7-8 hours, we were able to bring him back to the ICU in a very stable and much better condition. Fortunately, he made a very good recovery, and after a stay of about 2 to 3 weeks in the ICU, he was able to come out and then finally go back home about a month after being brought to our hospital in a very stable condition with normal breathing, normal activity, and I'm very happy to say that he is now back to his normal life and is pursuing his studies now.